What you are now going to see is the first of what we hope to be many Farsight board meetings recorded live. Now, this particular board meeting is not about the governance of the Farsight Institute, which is a non-profit formerly named Farsight Research Inc. Rather, this is a board meeting among the remote viewers involved in creating content for FarsightPrime.com, which is Farsight Inc., a media company that is totally dedicated to the end of secrecy, disclosure, using a very novel information gathering process known as remote viewing. Now, we are meeting with a group of extraterrestrials who have been assisting us at Farsight for a very long time. In January of 2022, we decided to be totally open about this contact. Now, you can introduce yourself to people only once, and we did not want others to define us in the public's mind.
So, we've all been expressing interest in getting better, clearer perceptions when it comes to remote viewing and just being online, so to speak, in terms of our psychic abilities altogether. So my general question to you both is, how do we get better?
The UFO, UAP disclosure movement is gaining steam slowly but surely. Finally, people are getting past the idiotic question of whether or not we are alone in the universe, and people are starting to ask what the extraterrestrials have been doing all this time. Well, if you follow any of our stuff at Farsight, you know that we have long described a situation in which there are good ETs and bad ETs. Now, the U.S. government has written agreements with the bad ETs to obtain technological assistance reverse engineering crashed UFOs. The government wants weapons assistance mostly, and secrecy is an explicitly stipulated part of those written agreements, which is why the government is so resistant to being open about the extraterrestrial presence on this planet. Now, this planet is being run as a prison by the bad ETs, who are highly manipulative of human governmental leadership. The prison will collapse if full disclosure happens.
Keep practicing. Continue to open your minds, continue to open your space, continue to work together as teams. You need to be able to work in close settings. This is a good start.
It is a psychological prison. The good ETs want the end of secrecy. The extraterrestrials who we have long worked with are the good ETs. They want to break down the prison by forcing disclosure to happen. But how that happens is very delicate. There is currently a Cold War between the good ETs and the bad ETs. They cannot just start shooting at one another without that Cold War turning into a hot war. The only way a hot war can turn in favor of the good ETs is if humanity is on the side of the good ETs. And that requires full disclosure. Full disclosure. If you can accept the fact that the UAPs or UFOs are real, then it should be easy to accept the fact that both groups of extraterrestrials have been active working with people on Earth. Now, the bad ETs have been working with much but not all of the U.S. military. And evidence of this is the now accepted fact of there being a UFO craft retrieval program within the U.S. military. Well, the good ETs have been shut out of formally working with the U.S. government, so they have been working with people, just regular people, to help support disclosure. Not disclosure in the distant future, but disclosure right now. Right now. Farsight has long been part of those efforts. Now, everyone at Farsight are normal humans living normal human lives. We believe in free will, and we hope you make the free will choice to watch what we do and to participate in the overall disclosure process. We honestly do not like secrecy.
This is an auspicious moment, historical in a very real sense, and that they appreciate all of the preparations that have gone into making this in terms of every single person. The preparations have not just been physical preparations for the meeting, but the preparations of years of work for you to be able to be at this point where you can perceive them and you can understand them. And this is the point of showing humanity what life should be like it is elsewhere in the galaxy.
Secrecy is the brick and mortar of the prison that binds humanity. It binds all of you. Disclosure is the water that dissolves the walls of that prison. Now, it took us at Farsight a great many years to be able to have conversations with the extraterrestrials. Nearly all extraterrestrials communicate telepathically. That is the normal way of communicating in the galaxy. When you're good at it, it is easy to understand what people are thinking. These conversations that you will now witness are fascinating on many levels, and one of those levels is to see how Farsight members reach out and translate those telepathic communications into verbal language. That is probably the most important lesson to be drawn from watching these meetings. Also, invisibility is a thing with all extraterrestrial contact. Visibility among the extraterrestrials, especially among the good ETs, produces an immediate military response.
You can sit around all day and listen to what we have to say, but you really got to go out there and experience a lot of that for yourself. And that's something that's really big for me in my remote viewing journey, is just that we are connected, but also you have to be able to do your own thing. And that's kind of what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a lot of like talking, but I feel a lot more than I hear talking, if that makes sense.
We can have these meetings without risking a military response only because the extraterrestrials themselves remain invisible to the naked human eye. As with telepathy, it also took many years for Farsight members to be able to see or perceive these extraterrestrials. The extraterrestrials themselves would love to flick a switch and be fully visible to the naked human eye, but that will have to wait until later, when the disclosure process is more developed and the risk of military responses is not so great. We are not asking you to believe us. What you choose to believe is totally up to you. We are only wanting to show you what we do and how we get advice. Then you can decide for yourself what you want to do with that knowledge. Nearly everything that you will see and hear in this Farsight board meeting involves Farsight members listening to the thoughts of the extraterrestrials and then translating those thoughts into verbal language. So let's begin. This Farsight board meeting was held in August 2024. We hope to make these recorded meetings a monthly event and to share them with you. This is crunch time in this world today, and you can see much of this even though the mainstream media is withholding a great deal of information from you. The good ETs suggested that we record these meetings. It took a lot on all sides for us to be able to give you this. On a personal note, I hope you appreciate the efforts.